Shammy, it's Theresa. Thank you for joining me today. In today's video, I will show you the second card in the video series that I started last week, which is Floral Designs for All Occasions. Taking one floral image, and I'm basically taking them and doing different types of techniques with them. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to be doing some work with Versamark ink, some work with our dye inks, some work with our oxide inks, as well as watercoloring and using Spectrum Noir markers. So today you'll see the masculine Mother's Day card that I am creating using the Spectrum Noir markers and the same floral design. So thank you again for joining me, and let's get to crafting. So for this first one, I'm going to be basically taking this stamp. So I didn't have to line it up on my Versamark mat, which I do at times. But today I didn't have to do that because I can put this anywhere on this card for this particular design. So I'm going to take my memento black ink and ink this up. And because there's already some cushion underneath, we'll put this on here, give it some even pressure. ABC 1, 2, 3, that's what I do with my grandkids. They love it. And there you have it. So in this version of the card, I'm actually going to take these colors and these are the TriBlend markers by Spectrum Noir, available through Close to My Heart, and I'm going to try to make a somewhat bluish, yellowish, greenish gray version of this because I want to use my leftover paper from the Daisy Meadow. First I'll start with my light color. Give it a nice, just a very light, what I call the flicking method. I have no idea if that's a technical term, but that's what I call it. And I'll basically just try to color it around, give it a little bit of an outline, and then flick my marker. I don't want to put this on heavy because my goal is to come back with the darker colors. I always start light. You can do it either way, I believe, but I tend to start light because that way I know how much I need to darken it to give it the shading effect that I'm looking for. So this is just a really simple, quick way of just getting the color on here. So again, it's just flicking it. The great thing about this stamp is it does already have some markings for you that show some shading opportunities. I'm going to take advantage of those. Okay, so I've got my light color. Now I'm going to come in with my dark color. And I'm actually going to look at where those markings are, and I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit, again, the flicking method. Darken that up just a bit. I'm also going to take this and make these edges a little bit darker. Not necessarily all of them, just a little bit. And from the corners, I'll also get a little bit of darkness around those corners to give it a little bit of shading. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to come in nicely. I think I want a little bit darker here. Now I'll take my medium blend, and I'm actually going to blend that up a little bit more, okay? Again, giving those corners some extra darkness because we want that to show. Taking advantage of these creases that are already there, showing you that. And just blending this. Again, flicking only, not doing a lot of heaviness here. The great thing about this method is you don't have to do as much coloring, and it's okay to leave some white. It's taken me a long time to be able to feel comfortable doing that. That helps with the shading also, when you see a little bit of that white. Now, the last step will be I'll blend one more time with my light color, and some of that white will go away, but this just is blending it a little bit more. Okay. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there are some variations in that. So that's our first round. We'll do the exact same thing with all the different colors here. I tend to only use 2 when I'm working with smaller items such as these small leaves. So let's do those. The larger leaves, I'll use the 3. Again, the flicking motion. I want a little bit of heaviness around the bottom and the end there. There's a small leaf there. Now I'm only going to use the medium color here. I'm going to make sure that that line is very defined, and then I'm just going to kind of give that a little bit on each side there. That looks, there's already depth to that. Okay? And that's how I'll do the larger ones. I'll use the 3 blends. And I'll play some music. I'll go ahead and color these in, but I'll play some music for you to listen to as I go through and fill this in. So I cut this down to 3 by 4 because I decided I didn't want all of that. I wanted to kind of use up some other paper. So I really like this together. So what I decided is I need to figure out a way to make this work. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this up. And we're going to have 2 strips down each of the sides. Just those 2 strips. So in order to do that, because this is already a cut piece of paper, I'm going to actually cut this in half. Cut it 4 inches first, and then cut these 2 pieces in half and just basically put them underneath. No one will ever know that this was not the intention. Then I'm going to have this as the background. I'm going to put another piece of white paper behind it. Then this will be the background, and that'll be our card. There. And if it's not quite like I want it, I'll just cut a little bit of that off. We'll put that on a white base. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make this just a little bit larger. It's going to be a landscape card, horizontal card, so this is not a problem to have this just a little bit larger like this. That's 4 1/4, 5 1/2, and now we're ready to put our card together. So now we have this. We'll need to put it all together, and then I'm going to put a little bit of sparkle to the card when we're finished. The paper that we're using here is Daisy Meadows. I had a video recently where I did a one-sheet wonder with Daisy Meadows, and for those of you who are new, one-sheet wonder just means I took one sheet of paper and I made several cards, and in the case of my video, I'll link it here, I actually made 8 cards using this particular piece of paper, just one piece of paper. Okay, so we're going to put that there. This, we're going to put a little bit of dimension. Because I don't want a lot of dimension, this is for the nursing home, I will take this and I will use this, what's called fun foam, and that's what I'll use to actually do, to give it some dimension. But it's not too much because it's only 2 centimeters. Add it here. No need to add any more tape. Generally what I do is I take a little bit of it off, like that, and then just finish it up that way. Ooh, right at the edge. Perfect. And that'll give me just enough dimension. Get out my ATG gun, use my art glitter glue. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. Add this onto our white piece of paper. Doesn't really matter which way it goes. Sometimes it's easier for me to see it on the black. The great thing about using the combination of the ATG gun and the art glitter glue is you have some time before you actually have to worry about it. Whoops, I forgot to color the inside of my flower. We're going to make that dark. There you have it. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if this was clear, but I added some white. I have a white gel pen. I actually got them from, they're called Milky Way, is the name brand. And I really do think that these are the best white gel pens that I've ever used. Which reminds me, I may add a little bit of white in here too. I just put a couple dots in there to, again, give it a little bit more dimension. So I have here, from Close to My Heart, it's white opal. It's Z3791. Because this will be a little bit more of a masculine card in my opinion. I'm not going to add pearls or things like that, but I think I'm just going to use this. So we'll see where we think this might work. And I usually start it using my leftover for my fun foam. I'm going to start it so I can see what that's going, how that's going. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll flatten it a little bit. So So now that we have the outside of our card ready to go, we're going to try to do this without making a mess. And I have "you are," so this has not been used, so I am really taking a chance here. And there you have it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you'll see new videos as they come out. Until next time, have a great day.